All right, so we're going to look at in this section uh, complex numbers, and also what does that entail when we're talking about complex numbers. Well, a complex number is created when a real number is paired with an imaginary number. A complex number is written as a plus bi, where a is the real number part and bi is the imaginary part. Imaginary numbers are written with an I after the digits. So I'm going to show some examples of why we're using complex numbers. Now, we used to talk about a real number system, and that entails rational and irrational numbers. Now we're going to be looking at complex numbers where it includes imaginary numbers, and I'll explain in a few minutes why we're using imaginary numbers. Now, what I want you to know in this section, these two concepts, okay, we're not going to spend a whole bunch of time on this, but in this section, these two concepts, I and I squared. I is equal to the square root of -1, or we can say the square root of -1 is equal to I. And then we're going to look at I squared is equal to -1. So these two concepts we're going to be talking about a lot more of here in this section. Also, lastly, we're going to talk about the principal square root of a number, meaning that if I have a square root where the radicand is negative, okay, and remember it says principal square root, meaning the index is an even number, it is a 2, okay, and we have a negative radicand. Now we are able to find the square root of that, and it's called the principal square root of a negative number.